Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Well, that was a whole lot of panic selling and people getting absolutely liquidated. Bedlam, chaos, mayhem. That's exactly what's going down here. And I'm going to tell you this, none of this is a sign that we are at the end of the cycle. So if anybody's a little concerned out there, I will just tell you this, as I was insisting in my very last video just earlier today, about 12 hours ago, there is nothing to worry about, in my humble opinion. And I'll explain why. Again, as far as liquidations go, just wait, I'm going to show you some numbers on this. It was pretty damn severe. It was market-wide. So if you're wondering why XRP went down, it wasn't just XRP. It was the whole market, led by Bitcoin, quite frankly. But structurally, there are all sorts of chart analysts making the case that as it pertains to XRP specifically, one of them said, and this is a quote, pertaining to XRP, exact same structure as 2017 still. That's a quote. I'll show you exactly why. There's a chart to attach to that particular comment. I'll get to a little bit later in the video. But retests happen. Markets go down. It's not going to go perfectly up in a straight line. This is a time to be excited, and there are a lot of people actually excited by this dip today because they got to fill some bids. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, at the time I'm recording this video, it is 7:46 p.m. Central Time on Monday, December 9th, 2024. XRP is $2.22, but it got a little bit lower than that today, didn't it? It got as low as $2.13. That was at 3:10 p.m. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin. It got as low as, well, it's currently $97,836. It got as low as $95,667. And what time did that occur? At 3:10 p.m. Central Time, my time zone. At the exact same moment, literally, XRP hit its bottom in the last 24 hours, just like Bitcoin did, and I'm sure that's true of many other coins, because the market moves in tandem. It happened exactly at the same moment. This is not surprising. This stuff repeats consistently over the years. It has the whole time crypto has existed, right? And it's always interesting to see, but again, nothing wrong with XRP here. It's moving in tandem with the market, which is a good sign. That's what you should want. We don't want it to be the black sheep. We don't want it to be the one that nobody's interested in buying. That would be a bad sign if it were being treated differently. Here's the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. I'm actually a little surprised it's this high, but I guess it has to do with the time frames during which data is collected. But because this is only updated once every 24 hours, but the Crypto Fear and Greed Index is at 78 out of 100, so it's still in extreme greed. Here's a post from me just this morning. And this is before the liquidation happened this afternoon, but still people were freaking out. I noticed that on social media. That was very clear. And so I wrote, I'm assuming the people freaking out about XRP dropping 31 cents in a 24-hour period down to $2.36 were not here when XRP dropped to 10 cents in March 2020. And so, folks, I say this to express empathy. Like I've been there. I get it. In 2018, after the bubble popped, I decided, okay, I'm gonna, I even knew back then, I can't catch the bottom. It's a fool's errand to try and do that. But after you've seen a notable move to the bottom, since you don't know when it's going to go, if you want to have a larger position in whatever the asset is, in this case XRP, you just start dollar cost averaging in, and that's what I did. In the summer, at some point, when XRP got to 55 cents, down from its all-time high of close to $4, that's when I started buying, right, at 55 cents, and then it dropped further, and I bought at 50 cents, and then 45 cents, and 40 cents, and it kept going on down, all the way down to 35 cents. And I used to feel emotions about this like normal humans, but now I'm a weird XRP bot, and I do not feel emotions. Beep, boop, beep. And so now, I'm the weirdo, but I'm happy to be the weirdo, that's fine. The last time I felt fear about the price of XRP was in August of 2018, and I won't forget it because I just so happened to be in San Francisco on a trip, just a vacation. I was visiting a family up in Petaluma North in California, and then just drove with my girlfriend down the Pacific Coast Highway, and along the way stopped in San Francisco, and actually was right outside where Ripple's headquarters was then at the time, and even saw Brad Garlinghouse leave the building. I shared pictures on social media at the time, which is kind of a fun thing to have occur. But setting that aside, I'm just noting I felt panic on that moment during that trip because XRP got as low as 25 cents, and I had been putting my money into it. I was down substantially. And then it got lower even after that. But see, here's the thing. On that trip, for whatever reason, I let the logic take over. I logically knew that I should expect it to go down. I knew that when I started dollar cost averaging in. And then I was just like, this is stupid. Why are you feeling emotions? It doesn't make sense. You knew it was going to go down. You know you can't catch the bottom. You know this has nothing to do with fundamentals, Matt. Why are you feeling this? And then that was the last time I ever felt it. For some reason, that was enough for me. The epiphany was enough. I let the logic take hold, and I never felt it again. I never did. I swear on my life. It doesn't matter to me. On the whole, the crypto pie gets bigger, and that's been proven out over time. So now I'm just even more confident that that approach is correct. And so when XRP did hit 10 cents in March of 2020 with the pandemic, I was excited. I bought. I wasn't able to purchase the very bottom. It was very briefly there, but I was able to buy as low as 15 cents. It's exciting. So all that to say, on the whole, if you have a long enough time horizon in mind, even if you miss this cycle because you botch things up that bad, or if we actually get a black swan event and it ruins our opportunity this cycle, that would suck. That would suck donkey balls, got it. But it doesn't mean there won't be opportunity in the future. For those who are patient and wait, they get rewarded. I've been holding for 7 years, and I don't think I would have had to have held this long if not for the SEC intervention. But that's, I can't control that. That's life. There's the cards we're all dealt. But here we are. And now we get these gains after this election. XRP has legal clarity, and it burst, like over 400% inside of a few weeks. And that's awesome. So when you see a pullback like that, all that to say, it's not something to be freaking out about. Honestly, it really is not. Here's a post from Chart Analyst Dom to kind of drive the point home. Top gainers since the election out of the top 100 coins. Now, this was this morning at 11:22 before the liquidation, but I doubt it's changed much. Here you can see the third till best performer is XRP plus 350% even after the pullback to that point. And then the top one's HBAR, second XLM. And I hold all those coins. I just happen to. 42 different cryptocurrencies, though. Up substantially. Now, all those coins also have taken substantial beatings for years on end, but I just hold stuff, and then if it works out, great, and then if it doesn't, then it doesn't. That's life. I'm just investing, and I have broad exposure in the asset class. Pretty simple. But so all that to say, these little pullback, if it freaked you out, have some perspective, folks. XRP's up substantially. I mean, my God, even over the last 30 days, even after the most recent pullback, it's still up 292%. Everything's fine, folks. Here's a post from 360 Trader. He said, if you're calling this the Bitcoin top for the cycle, you need some serious education on what end-of-cycle distribution volume looks, smells, feels, and tastes like. Looking at price just ain't gonna cut it, folks. Yes, that's exactly correct. And that's why if you haven't seen my very last video, I shared some personal thoughts along the way, but I shared real-world data and articulated why that data means you shouldn't be panicking now even if the price goes lower. I said that like 12 hours ago or so. I said I don't know what's going to happen in the short term, and it doesn't matter. Even if the price goes lower, whatever. We're in a bull run, folks. We are not seeing indicators that the top is here. We just aren't. And I will tell you when we are seeing those things, because there'll be a ton of influencers out there who will just keep pretending like the number's going to go up to get the clicks. And I don't care if people start screaming at me. If there are top indicators, I'm going to talk about them here. I just want to live in reality, Here's a post from the Nijin Tropic account. Now, this is run by the co-founders of on-chain analytics from Glassnode. They do fantastic work here. And here they wrote, retailers are back in the game. And this is just this morning, by the way, 8:37 a.m. Central Time. Retailers are making their most aggressive move since 2021, but still not at the level seen in the last cycle. Remember, their peak participation in April 2021, pre-all-time high, was followed by a mass exit during Bitcoin's 50% correction. Now, they're entering with force, but they're not a short-term threat for deeper correction. And so this is one more thing to be aware of. There's all sorts of metrics you can look at. And so if you're looking at the screen, you can see where I'm circling right here. That was the peak. So short-term holder supply, that would be the retailers coming in. The people are because you can see it's a public blockchain. You can see who's been holding in for how long. Well, not that the name's attached, it's pseudonymous, but you can see what the accounts are doing. So if you have all these increase in short-term hold, those are brand new people. Those are the retailers, and it happens near the peak of cycles, right? Look at where we are now on the right here. We're nowhere near that. And many anticipate that this is going to be way bigger than last cycle. We are not there yet. It's one more metric you can look at that should instill confidence that, even though technically, and I always admit this, we don't know for sure what's going to happen, not with 100% certainty, but does it make sense to have confidence that the best is yet ahead for the cycle? Well, sure. Yeah, it makes sense to be sleeping easy at night despite this pullback. Of course it does. Of course it does. It doesn't mean it's a guarantee, and we could wake up tomorrow and find everything's on fire. But wouldn't you attribute like a really small percentage in terms of probability to that happen? Because I would say that's a very small percentage chance, very low. Here's a post from Dr. Magic, chart analyst. He said, "You have one effing job. Stay bullish until at least February. This is volatility. If you can't handle a 20 to 30% dip on alts after they did a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6x, switch to Forex trading." Spot on, chart analyst Dr. Magic. Here's the headline from Crypto Slate. Bitcoin sees another flash crash, leading to $1.52 billion cascade in crypto liquidations. My friends, this is why it does not make sense to play with leverage. If you're just a long-term person, if you're a hodler, you're going to win. I mean, you can still screw that up too if you let your emotions come in and whatever. Don't have diverse portfolio, keep your crypto on exchange. There's ways to screw it up. But one of the worst ways to screw up the opportunity for life-changing wealth, which is, by the way, the greatest opportunity financially that our species has ever had. You're living in it right now. You really are living in a very special moment. Good way to ruin that is to play with leverage. Like if you think that the thousands of percentage gains that you can have, over a span of just a few years or shorter than that, and just by investing in crypto, if that's not enough for you, the thousands of percentage gains, you are way too greedy, okay? You need to lever that up and risk losing it all. To even have like a fraction of a percentage chance that you could be liquidated is a fool's decision. Again, this is a once in a species opportunity, and you're going to allow even like a fraction of a percent. You're going to like willingly open yourself up to that, losing your position, even if the odds are low. Because the thousands of percentage gains that we see historically that's not enough for you? What is your malfunction? Like, don't do that. I mean, I think it's foolish anyway. You can do what you want. That's my opinion. Here's a post at 4:18 after the biggest crash of the day. This is from not chart analyst. He's a XRP Ledger DUNL validator, VET. And here he wrote at 4:18 p.m. Central Time, $60 million in liquidations on XRP in the last 24 hours. Stop leverage trading, folks. Yes, absolutely stop it. Knock it off. It is not in your best interest. Here's a post from the blockchain backer at 3:25 p.m. So this is just shortly after that liquidation event. He goes, "There was the liquidation. New entrants waited for entries. Let's see if they take them." And more on that in a second. Here's a post at 3:41 p.m. Central from the blockchain backer. Leverage flushed. You can pause here if you want to look at the screen grab he shared. Absolutely brutal. And then there's this post from him at 5:26 p.m. and he said, "That's a rinse." And look at that. So the yellow line, that's the price of Bitcoin. And look at who was long. That was most. I mean, compared to the shorts here. Absolutely brutal. Liquidate. Look at that. Totally devastating for the people who were playing with leverage. Not devastating for anybody who's in spot. You know what? I have right now the same amount of XRP that I had yesterday, the week before that, the month before that, the quarter before that, the year before that, 2 years before that, 3 years before that, because I've just been holding. And I haven't bought XRP since October, I believe it was October of 2020, because I did go a little nuts in my purchasing. It's been my largest position by a lot the whole time I've been in crypto, and now by a ton, now that it's taken off a bit. And so I've only diversified by getting into other coins since then. But I've had the same amount of XRP for years through all of that price volatility. And that's because I don't play with leverage. It's stupid to do that. It really is. I mean, if you're a trader, okay, fine. But also know that for most people, it's stupid to be a trader. Like 95% of traders lose money. And then for the small percentage who don't, like, how profitable are you? Is it a little bit? Is it like taking up a ton of your life? Is it highly stressful? Like, are you sure you want to do that? That's not for most humans. Like, I'm not going to play with that. Hell no. I'm just a regular. I don't want to play with that. What the hell would I do that for? I can make life-changing wealth by buying stuff and then literally doing nothing, just waiting. I just have to be more patient than people. To me, that's easy. Here's a post from chart analyst Credible Crypto. He simply wrote, "Nature is healing. Nice reset on overheated funding across the board." And he posted that at 4:20 p.m., a little over an hour after that biggest liquidation flush out. Here's another one from Credible Crypto. This is at 3:21 p.m., so what, like 9 or 10 minutes after this happened, something like that. He says, "XRP just hit my downside target. Because we did this sooner rather than later after taking highs, there's a good chance that if we make new local highs from here, we won't need to revisit this region after any longer." Well, that would be rather delightful. And there's additional optimism from a number of other analysts. Let me give you a couple examples here. First, here is a post from Charting Guy at 2:43 p.m. So this is a little less than a half hour before that liquidation event, the big one anyway, happened this afternoon. Here's what Charting Guy said, 2:43 p.m. XRP is still undecided. Bounced off of 0.888 fib as support, but now coming back down to it. Again, either, number one, we have bottomed and are on the way to all-time high, or number two, we get one more move lower to the $2 area, then bounce and go to all-time high. Either way, in my opinion, new all-time high is inevitable somewhat soonish. Okay, and so obviously now we know what happened, and here is his post, just about a half hour later, 3:12 p.m., and here we go. He says, XRP decision was made pretty fast. And he's got a little brain explode emoji. Scenario number 2. Check mark. The old liquidity flush out to the perfect support level. Can't make this up. If you placed bids here, congrats on the fill. And yeah, certainly congrats to anybody that was looking to fill their bags a little bit more and just held through this and was willing to buy other people's fear. Congrats to you. You're ahead of the game then. And then there's this from Charting Guy. Now, this one you're going to love. This is from 4:48 p.m. This is so awesome to see because history keeps rhyming. It does not make sense to panic, folks. It makes sense to be excited here. 4:48 p.m. Central Time. Charting Guy. XRP just retested the 2021 high today. Exact same structure as 2017 still. On track perfectly. Check mark. So you can see what he's talking about here. This is where we are today. And you can see this pink or purple line, whatever the hell that is, that was the high for the last cycle, 2021 for XRP, close to $2. And you can see that within the last week or so, we did burst above it, and then we came back down to test it. And so lots of analysts think there's a really good chance, well, like Credible Crypto is saying, like, that may have been it. There's a good chance we actually don't go back below that, at least not for this, and until we see all-time highs. And the similar thing, as he's pointing out here, that's what happened in 2017. Do you see this? Humans were biological robots, and on the whole, we tend to act roughly the same over and over and over again. It doesn't mean you, on an individual level, can't dramatically change, but on the whole, since it's a very large sample size, on the whole, we keep acting roughly the same. Right? And there's always new people getting older and having to go through and make the same mistakes that older generations made in terms of behavior and how they treat investments and how they trade and how they use leverage, so on and so forth. So it makes sense that this is happening, right? People have to learn. And so you're always going to have this. And so, look at this cycle in 2017, which was the largest run for XRP in history. Look what it did. XRP ran up dramatically, then smashed back down and tested the previous high. This is what it did, where I'm circling here, 2017. And then it continued ultimately to the upside. Look at that. That's just, it's astonishing. Like, it's so similar. And he's saying, it looks like that's pretty much what's playing out here. Take it for what it's worth. I find it compelling. Here's chart analyst Tony Severino. He seems to agree. He wrote XRP retest perfection. And he has a line at the same spot. Look at that. Roughly same spot anyway. Just noted that it came above that and then smashed back down. It's a retest. This just happens. It just happens, folks. You'll love to see it. Then there's also this from chart analyst Dom. Talking about XRP. $2.20 lost throughout whole market flush, which is expected. $2 is stated above. This is part of a thread. I'm just going to share this post because this is the most recent and relevant one. Then he says, major bids were sitting at $2 on Binance Perp and spot market, which stopped that wick perfectly. Short-term goal is to stay above $2.25. Overall, I think XRP held up decent considering how much it's up over the last month. Yeah, it's pretty impressive after a huge move like that. And he posted this after that liquidation event. So it did go, according to Live Coin Watch, down to $2.13, I think is what it said. On certain exchanges, it did go lower, though, depending on which exchange you're looking at. This was at 4:02 p.m. So after that, like I said, and it bounced back up. So at the time he's saying, hey, just try and stay above $2.25, roughly there. We're at $2. We're a little bit shy of that $2.24 at the time I'm recording this. But lots of analysts think that what's most likely is we just keep from here, going to the upside, and I'll hit that all-time high. This is not a time to be afraid, though. There are not signals that indicate we're at the top. They're not there. I promise. When I'm seeing them, and analysts I follow will be screaming them because they're being intellectually honest, I will tell you about it. We are not there, folks. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.